this is troubling. Now, I know that this bill that I'm going to talk to you about was introduced in the state of New York back in January of this year, but this is Assembly Bill 416, and what this bill does is effectively give the governor of the state of New York, whoops, wrong photo, the governor of the state of New York unilateral authority to point her finger at any one group of persons and deem them a public health threat or risk, because this is a public health bill, and have them removed from the public and detained in a facility that she deems appropriate for an indeterminate amount of time, wherever she feels like, whenever she feels like, however she feels like. Because there's no specific language in this bill as far as time, as far as proof, because this bill was kept vague for a reason. Now, what's even more troubling is the comment section in this part of the website. There's a web link, nystate.gov. Again, Assembly Bill A416. Some of the people in the comment section are like, "What's the big deal? I don't understand. Why not? Like, we're trying to get past the pandemic. We're trying to kick COVID. We got to do what we got to do." You people are out of your minds. Either you don't understand what this bill does, what the type of authority that this bill gives the governor of the state of New York, or you've simply just given up on life and you don't care what kind of freedoms you're surrendering, what kind of rights you're surrendering. You just want the government to take care of everything and make your lives all nice and neat. But since when has the federal government or any state government ever made anyone's lives any better? They are extremely, the government, well, again, whether it's federal, local, state, they are extremely inefficient at their jobs. Not only would this be an inefficient way to get rid of COVID, to kick a virus, right? That's the whole problem with this whole narrative, is that we're being made to believe that we have to do certain things and surrender certain freedoms and resign ourselves to specific mandates just for a short term, just for a short period of time in order to eradicate COVID. COVID is a virus that is here to stay. You're not eradicating anything. It's just like the flu. It's just like the common cold. They're here to stay. We're not getting rid of them. So the fact that people are just going, oh, well, it's just another law, another piece of legislation that we have to fall in line with. Don't worry, it'll all be over soon. Just one more thing, and one more thing, and one more thing. There's always going to be another variant, which means there's always going to be another mandate, another vaccine, another booster, and all of those are going to be rendered obsolete once the next variant comes out. It's time to wake up, people. This bill in Section 2 reads, upon determining by clear and convincing evidence that the health of others is or may be endangered by a case, contact, or carrier, or suspected case, contact, or carrier of a contagious disease, that in the opinion of the governor, okay, by clear and convincing evidence, the governor's opinion, developed thereupon, okay, not by proof, not by evidence, not by science, by the governor's opinion, after consultation with the commissioner, may pose an imminent and significant threat to the public health resulting in severe morbidity or high mortality. The governor or his or her delegee, including but not limited to the commissioner or the heads of local health departments, may order the removal and or detention of such a person or a group of such persons by issuing a single order, identifying such persons either by name or by a reasonably specific description of the individuals or group being detained. Such person or group of persons shall be detained in a medical facility or other appropriate facility or premises designated by the governor or his or her delegee and complying with subdivision 5 of this section. So again, if the language in this bill does not trouble you and disturb you, then you don't understand, either you don't understand the language, the verbiage, or again, you've simply just given up. You're just ready to resign yourself and be a subject to the United States government rather than a citizen in this country. It is extremely dangerous to hand over that much power to a single leader, to simply be able to point his finger at one person or a group of people and say, I deem those people a risk, a threat, a hazard, and I want them removed and detained until I feel like they no longer need to be detained. Doesn't this ring a bell at all? Circa 1930s, 1940s Nazi Germany? Have we really forgotten? It hasn't been that long ago. Nick Perry is the assemblyman from New York who introduced this bill back in January, and Fox News did an article on it wherein he defended his position on this bill, saying that, oh, don't worry, it doesn't violate anybody's constitutional rights. Well, except the 9th and 14th Amendment and, maybe a handful of others. Depriving anybody of the due process and equal protection under the law is certainly violative of the Constitution, and that bill seems to do just that. If you are removed from your home and deprived of your freedom of movement, and detained without appearing before a judge and without having some sort of probable cause established to justify your detention, then that is violative of the Constitution. Now, I don't think that this bill will pass. I really don't. I don't think we're there yet, even in the state of New York. I don't think there are enough extremist legislators to pass this bill, and even if it did, it would quickly be struck down by the judicial system in the state of New York, hopefully, and then if it didn't, eventually it would reach the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court at this point is conservative enough, and I hate to say conservative, because whether you are a liberal, conservative, right-wing, left-wing judge sitting on the Supreme Court, this bill violates the Constitution. And no matter what your political perspective as a judge, you should swiftly strike down this bill as unconstitutional. So if you're one of the people who voted for Nick Perry in the state of New York, I suggest you do some deep, long, hard introspection and figure out why you voted for him in the first place. And if he ran as some sort of moderate in your state and you elected him and suddenly he's introducing legislation like this, I would be blowing up his phone, kicking down his door, sending emails, telegraphs, smoke signals, whatever you have to do to get his attention to let him know that this is evil. But it's exactly the kind of thing that I would expect from the left at this point in our country in the year 2021. The left hates America. They hate everything America stands for. They hate the democratic process. They hate that they have to be elected. They hate that their power is derived from the people whom they serve. They hate all of it. They want absolute power. They don't want to have to answer to anyone. And that's exactly what this bill speaks to, is their hatred for democracy, their hatred for America, their hatred for our republic, and for the American people. Clearly, elected officials like Nick Perry, who attempt to introduce legislation like this, give zero shits about their constituents. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Hopefully it's a lot more commonsensical than the comment section on the website. I would imagine, at least among my followers, that it would stir up a bit of outrage, knowing that legislation like this is even up for consideration. Okay, it's just absolute garbage, absolute tyrannical garbage. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like, comment, share. You know the drill. Again, let me know what you guys think about this bill in the comments. Let me know what you think about the video. See you next time.